In this video, I'm going to look at the pipeline feature in RPD, which is used to help you manage your property acquisitions. The first step is to head over to the pipelines page. And when I'm here, I'm going to switch to table view just so we have a bit more space. So the way that pipelines work is that it's split into two parts, which you can get access to via these two buttons up here. So the first part is the pipelines themselves, which you can create and manage on this page. And then the second part of the properties. So the way in which it works is you would create a pipeline, and we can see that we've got one that's an example one here that's here already, big discount Northwest. And then the idea is once that's created, you then add properties to it. Those properties will have a particular status. We move along. I'll guide you through that now. So first step would be to create a new pipeline if you don't already have one. So it's just a case of filling in this form. So on, you can add a contact and any notes if you wanted to. And once you've done that, you can then add properties to that pipeline by pressing the little plus button over here. So you'd then search for the property. So it's 101 High Street. The next field is the status. So these are the different statuses a property can have when it's in a pipeline. So if we're adding this, it's normally going to be on to be inspected, but you could set it to one of the others if you were, say, migrating across from some sort of other way that you've been managing or tracking this. Finally, you can also add a reason if you want. I'm just going to go ahead with new store and then add that to the pipeline. So to view the properties in the pipeline, we can then press this I button here. And when we do that, a couple of things. First of all, we've gone across to the properties page now. And because we clicked on the coffee shops pipeline that we wanted to view, it's automatically applied a filter here saying pipeline coffee shops. And then when we look down here in the table, we can see that one property, 101 High Street, to be inspected, which I've added. If we wanted to add some more comments about that, we could do. So we could say, and you can create tags by using the @ symbol and then tag in other companies or contacts or properties if you want. There's a separate video on how to use the comments and mentions. I'm going to go ahead and post that comment. And again, if we then say inspected it and like the property, we could move it along to offer submitted. We could say add further information and then save that. And then it's been moved along to offer submitted and negotiating. That's how you can edit and work with a property that is in a pipeline. Some other things that you can do is view it on a map by pressing the show on map button over here. You can see the property on the map. This might be useful if we were looking, if we just take this filter off, we can now see all of the properties that we've got in pipelines. And maybe let's set this to be inspected. So this is now showing us all of the properties that we have that are to be inspected. So you could then use this view to plan a road trip for a particular day. Or alternatively, you could do further research. So you could turn some of the map markers on, look at some of the demographic information and just generally do a bit of research on the properties, or maybe see where competitors are by adding some layers. All of those features are covered in the how to use the map videos. But this is how you can show the pipeline properties on the map and then do further work with them. The last thing that you might want to do is export this list to Excel. And you can do that by pressing the button here and filling out the form and pressing export to Excel. And it will then export the information in this table to an Excel document. So that's it. So it's nice and simple, but powerful tool to help keep your acquisitions organized. Once they're in there, it's very quick and easy to work with them. The last point is that all of this information is also available on the property. So if at any point you're viewing the property, you can see in the pipeline box here that this property is being added to it. And so that's just another way to get to that information. It all links back to itself effectively. And again, the property detail page is linked to in another video. All right, thanks for watching.